What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Loveshack, and today we're going to take a look at some of the new number monsters that I believe may be the final number monsters we didn't have, although I'd have to sit there and do some math, which I have not yet done. Anyway, these were announced the other day. It's numbers 1 through 4, as well as some Numeron spells, and a couple of support monsters that go along with them. I believe these were used by Don 1000 in the ZeXal anime, but I could be wrong on that. Somebody might be able to correct me. But I figured we'd take a look at the cards and go through them and see whether or not any of them could be any good. So without further ado, I'm going to jump right into this and take a look at some of the new cards that were introduced. Up first, we've got Numeron Wall. This is the only normal, non-extra deck monster that seems to have been announced so far. Effect reads as follows. If you control no cards, or every card you control is Numeron Wall, you can send this card from your hand or your field to the graveyard, then activate one Numeron Network from your hand or deck. This is a quick effect, so it definitely gives it a little more flexibility. It seems aimed at maybe a first-turn play, or if you're going second, because I can't imagine that later in the game you're going to have, no cards on the field at all. But it's decent enough, I guess, once we get to Numeron Network. It also has an effect when you take battle damage. You can special summon this card from your hand. If you do, end the battle phase at the end of that damage step. So it's kind of like a battle fader of sorts. I guess if they attack directly, you can use it to save yourself, but it might play better into some of the other combo pieces that we get to. Alright, taking a look at the actual Xyz monsters, we got number 1, Numeron Gate DV, or Eckham, I don't know, I might have mispronounced that. It's 3 level 1 monsters, can't be destroyed by battle, and at the end of the damage step, if it battled a monster, you can attach a material from it, double the attack of all Numeron monsters you control for the rest of the turn. So he's got 1,000 attack. I mean, if he doubled his own attack, it'd be up to 2,000, but he's already attacked. I'm not sure how practically you're making it either with 3 level 1 monsters, but it's neat, I suppose. Number 2 is Numeron Gate DV, or DV, I don't fucking know. Cannot be destroyed by battle. At the end of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's monster, you can attach one Xyz material from this card, double the attack of all Numeron monsters you control for the rest of this turn. So it's identical to the first one, although I like the art on this one a little bit better. I'm guessing if you have, both of them out, that maybe you could do some kind of combo where you're attacking with one and then detaching from the other to boost something. Numeron Gate Trini, same thing. 3 level 1 monsters, cannot be destroyed by battle. At the end of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's monster, you can detach one Xyz material from this card, double the attack of all Numeron monsters you control for the rest of this turn. So I'm guessing all 4 will do the same, but we'll take a look at it in a second. If there's some practical way to get these all out at the same time, or to spam the board with them, then yeah, I guess technically you can make one of them really beefy, but it does feel like a bit of a stretch to do that, unless the field spell kind of gives them some kind of built-in protection. Number 4, Numeron Gate Vari. Yep, so it is the same. So all 4 numbers, 1 through 4, have the same exact effect. Thankfully, different art, but this one, same deal. So, in the interest, you have 4 of them out. Let's say you attack with one and resolve the effects of all of them. I think, if I'm doing math right, you could make one of them up to 8,000, but it feels like a bit of a not great play. So those are pretty much the 4 main monsters that the deck would actually be, trying to go into, which is already taking up 4 of your extra deck spaces. Let's take a look at the spells and see if those are any better. Alright, Numeron Network, which is the one that Numeron Wall can pull directly from the deck. You can only use the effect once per turn. During your main phase, send one Numeron spell that meets its activation conditions from your deck to the graveyard. This card's effect becomes that spell's effect when it is activated. Also, continuous effects of Numeron Xyz monsters you control that activate by detaching material can be activated without detaching material. So this seems pretty solid. I believe Rank Up Magic Numeron Force would also count towards this because it is a normal spell. So perhaps there's some weird shenanigans you can do with Rank Up Magic from the deck that might be worth exploring. I have to take a look at that a little bit more. Alright, so Numeron Calling is the last one here. If a Numeron Network is in your field zone and you control no monsters, special summon up to 4 Numeron Gate Xyz monsters with different names from your extra deck, but banish them during the end phase. Also, for the rest of this turn, you can only normal or special summon once. Okay, so that's how it works then. You use the monster in your hand, you discard it, you activate Numeron Network, then you spam all 4 guys out. I guess it gives you an instant... It gives you Appaloosa access or, something. I don't really know what you're doing there. I mean, is the plan to attack with all of them? Because, I mean, you can put a lot of damage out without having to detach the materials, but it seems kind of meh at best, if I'm being honest. That's the spell. So, yeah, you activate that directly from the deck. And then The last card, which I saved till the end just because I wasn't sure, how it was going to be applicable to the rest of these, is number C1, Chaos Gate, Numeron Chaos Gate Suniya. This is a rank 2, so you overlay it on top of number 1, and then obviously transfers materials. If it succeeds summoned, you banish all monsters on the field. Not terrible. Once per turn during your next standby phase, after it's banished, you can special summon it. Then, if you control Numeron Network, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the total attack of all banished Xyz monsters. This kind of seems like it could be nuts, like just that burn damage, but I don't know if that's a translation thing, or if it's just your banished Xyz monsters, or what the exact, wording is on it. But it seems like, realistically, you could, play the spell, summon this, banish everything, and then during your next standby phase, he comes back and is a big boy. I think it's 2,000, so 2, 3. At least you're doing a decent amount of damage, but again, I don't know how practical that is. People were pretty hyped about these overall, and I think when you look at specifically the spell cards, being able to spam the board does give you a bunch of monsters that you can do something with. You only have that one summon left for the rest of the turn. So what is your big play? Like, where are you going with it? Something like Utopic ZeXal, possibly. Or are you exploring, I think it's, number F0 maybe, Utopic Hope or Utopic Future, where you can, like, overlay multiple monsters of the same rank. I guess there's some different, like, things you can do, but I get the sense that the intent is for these guys to be able to work on their own as well, so I don't know how I feel about them yet. I think I would need to actually be able to play around with them and see how they are in practice versus just on paper. It seems like it might be neat to try and do something with just the ability to, like, drop them all and attack for massive damage. Battle invincibility doesn't do too much, but if there's something that would protect them from being targeted or destroyed by card effects, perhaps you'd have some type of actual play there. Although it does kind of hard loose to Nibiru as well, just because you're already putting 4 monsters on the board, so anything else you do pretty much makes your opponent's Nibiru live if they have it. So, I don't know. These are the new Numeron cards. These should be coming out. I would assume they'll be in a Duelist pack on our side, or Legendary Duelist. I think they were part of a Collector's pack in the OCG. But obviously, as we get closer to that, we'll have more information. So, what do you guys think? Do you like the Numeron monsters? Do you think they're cool? Is there some potential there that I'm maybe not seeing? Let me know in the comments below. And we'll continue to monitor and take a look at new cards as they're released. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching, and see you next time, next video.